will love it if we beat them. Love it.
It's Friday night, it's 9 p.m. It's time for AEG Fridays with your hosts Carl and Ash.
Bonjour, motherfuckers.
What a greeting.
Welcome to another show of AEG Fridays with me, Carl, and my co-host Ash. This week we are going to be having a bit of a rant on all things NUFC in the Twitter universe, Twitter space, or whatever you want to call it these days. X marks the spot. This, that, and the other. Couple of housekeeping. It is Friday night, which only means one thing. Time to raise your glasses and have a drink.
I'm on the old corkety callers tonight.
Yes. Well, I'm heading up to the northeast in the morning, so I will just be having this one and then probably having an early night. So let's start off with the Liverpool, I suppose, Liverpool preview first, mate.
Yeah, we'll do the nice stuff first.
Yes. So obviously we've got Liverpool at the weekend, another huge match. What this is what we're thinking about in terms of the Newcastle lineup. So probably no change again. Maybe Gordon might come in. Who knows?
Are you thinking maybe like Barnes on one side, Gordon on the other? Maybe drop Almer on?
I don't know, because he likes him, doesn't he?
He does. He's sort of wild, like. Wasn't his best game, was it, last week?
No, but I mean, we'll talk about that in a minute. But yeah, everybody's saying about dropping Gordon, but I don't think Gordon's done anything wrong at all.
No, I mean not neither.
So I probably think it'll just be the same team, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
Liverpool's lineup is predicted to be something along the lines of this. Maybe either a back four or this random 3-2-2-3, depending on how they think they want to maybe match us. But who knows?
I like all that space in the middle.
You what?
I like all that space in the middle there for Tonali and Bruno to run around in.
To be honest with you, mate, I just want Joe Linton to smash about three or four of them, because hopefully he's fit and he's ready to start.
I think he should be.
So I suppose that's effectively like the Liverpool potential team. What you thinking, score wise?
I'm not as confident as what Richie. Then we're going to annihilate them. Yeah, Soboslai's he's definitely going to realise he's picked the wrong horse. But yeah, I said it against Man City last week. We've never got a better chance than now to beat them. Same goes for Liverpool. I think their back line looks shaky. Their midfield still hasn't clicked. So we couldn't play them at a better time, to be honest. It's just a case of how they use last week's defeat to fuel them going into the game. Obviously, they've got the home advantage as well. I mean, we're pretty special at home, but we have got an absolutely abysmal record against Liverpool, and that's the only thing that's holding us back. I know that like the history shouldn't matter, but it does sort of play a part into the mentality. But I'm backing a win. How about you?
I think we spoke about it in the week about looking at what happened against the same side this time last year. And if you remember, we're talking about Villa. We got tongued 4-0 away to City last year. So we got beat off Liverpool twice last season. So as you said, I think we only lost. Did we only lose one game or two games at St. James's last season? Was it one game?
I think it might have been one, maybe two, but yeah.
Yeah,
mostly against Liverpool.
Definitely against Liverpool. So we owe them one. We definitely owe them one. And obviously, Mr. Turkey Teeth likes to try and be funny. So I just hope we can do it to just wipe that smile off his face, to be honest with you. So I'm going for a 2-1 win.
I'll do.
To be honest with you, I just think we've got to go to win the game. I think we have to go 2-0 up, mate. Because I think if they score, it's a bit of a, you know what I mean?
We want you to get those numbers higher, mate.
No. But yeah, 2-1. 2-1's a
I
win.
agree with you, though. A fast start is going to be massive for us. If we can come out the blocks, put them on the back foot, get an early goal, I think that'll just shit them up and they'll not be able to recover.
Well, it's a bank holiday weekend. So this is a message to all the masses that are going. Go out early on Sunday, have a few drinks, get merry, and then make some noise. I think, because I think if anybody managed to watch episode 3 when it eventually came on, thanks to Amazon Prime making double fuck ups, which we'll talk about in a bit, then war flags make a huge difference, and I just hope that the fans are up for it. They were definitely up for it against the Villa game. I was lucky enough to get to go up there, and I'm lucky enough to get to go up on Sunday and I'm taking my daughter with us, so we're gonna hopefully, we'll be singing. I know I'll be singing. Probably lose my voice again.
Yeah, Richie saying the Villa humped us at home last season, so it was 2 bastards.
Did they? We didn't get beat off Villa. We beat them 4-1
at their ground, wasn't it?
No, yeah, at their ground they beat us 4-0, I think, and we beat them up. We beat them here 5-1. I'm sure of it. Or 4-1, sure of it. Yeah, because Almiron scored that little curler around that brilliant goal when it went round.
Yes, top bin.
Shut up, Richie.
Yeah.
Bloody hell, supposed to be a proper fan of flags and all that as well.
Richie's letting all his fame go to his head, man. He's in episode 4 of the documentary.
Gobshite.
For about half a second.
So, where do we start with basically Explosionville from the fallout from the Man City game? What do you think?
I still don't think that this is the provocative tweak that everyone's taken it to be. I think those that are taking it the wrong way are probably the people that this was pointed at. Yes. So, like it's saying, is it too early in the season to start focusing blame on individual players? Was there an overreaction to the loss to Man City? And they've put those players in that image because they're the ones that were getting the most grief online. Yeah. So this isn't NUFC 360 saying, should we be holding these players accountable? This is them saying, hang on a minute, lads, look where we are. Don't you think it's a bit too soon to be jumping on the backs?
But this is where, and you'll know being a writer, where that ambiguity comes in, and where they probably, in a way, they probably did write a grey headline to get the clicks and to get the bites and stuff like that. But I don't think they expect to get this.
No, and I'll let Bruno off with this because English not his first language. So
is this serious? We are in Champions League football. We lost against maybe one of the best sides in the world, and we have a big game and lost one game. Have a big win and lost one game. Support in the best moments is easy. Short, stupid memories. You'll have to look what we have done in the first year and a half. And then that was obviously swiftly deleted. But in a way, I kind of agree with you, whereas I think that tweet where everybody piled on and where they ended up losing like 3,500 to 4,000 followers within half an hour of that, and then the fallout. It's one of them, mate. It's fucking, you can't, like, you can say whatever you want at the end of the day, like, but it's all those other people there who are the ones that sit there hiding behind like dodgy emoji faces and stuff, just writing complete shite and replying. And then obviously you get a player who's obviously quite passionate, comes out and says, what? You know,
I mean, I don't blame Bruno at all for that. He had every right to put something out there saying, what the fuck are you all talking about? He had every right to, but I just want to point something out on this. both of those statements there end with a question mark. They're not saying anything. They're asking the question.
Yeah, exactly.
Why are people jumping on them? Like, I know obviously they've done it to provoke the conversation and to get things flowing, but I don't think they did it in a sense that like they were putting out their own opinion to it. I think it was just them saying, "Don't you think it's a bit too soon? What do you think, lads?" Like we're doing now. We're having the discussion.
They have in the past, like, wrote things during games and stuff like that, and have been a little bit overcritical. Like everybody's entitled to opinion to say, you know, Miggy, you should have buried that, or Miggy's got no fucking right foot, or blah blah blah. At the end of the day, do you know what I mean? So, and then when you get other idiots who are like coming on and then creating burner accounts and doing this and trying to call other people out and saying, "Oh, this is what," like, it's just fucking stupid. Basically, it's just stupid, isn't it?
Like, if you're getting fucking bent out of shape over football and over people's words on a social media account, like, just let it go. We'll all be back on the same fucking side the next week when the game kicks off again.
It falls nicely into, maybe for me, the way that, like, the trust and then the Newcastle United supporters club. How you've obviously got two factions there. You've got one over here, one over there. They've ultimately got the same goal in terms of wanting to unite and obviously put forward views on where they think they need to go. But they might not sing out the same like sort of manual, if you like. But that's fine if people want to go to the trust and go down that route, or if people want to go down NUF supporters club, then that's fine. Like, I know which fence I'd want to go in, but I'm not going to be like, you can't go there because of this, and so it's like,
yeah.
But sadly, it's happening where people are followers of certain things and saying, "Oh, they're the problems. They're this, and like the other day, like the trust got the blame for something that happened, and I'm thinking
that the club did.
Yeah, how's it their fault?
That's
like
fucking
they're
stupid.
The voice for like its members, and also guess what? The club actually listens to the trust. Doesn't
the thing is as well. Yeah, the trust go in there. They take the fans' opinions in. They sit down in the discussions, but the club has every right to ignore everything they say and just go ahead and do what they want to do. And if that's the case, it's not the trust's fucking fault. They've done their job.
Exactly.
I don't get why all the.
Oh, have we lost them? We lost Ash.
Backlash. That was nice. I'm not back.
You're back now. You're like,
got a connection issue by the looks of it. Anyway, problems. Other fans see this, jump on it, and start leveling your shit fans' criticism. Yeah, I think what Richie's referring back to is there's all the infighting. But yeah, we don't do ourselves any favors, and then we've got warring factions that are just trying to help the club.
The thing is,
we don't do ourselves any favors.
The thing is, what you've got to think about there is, like, it's always been there. This infighting in like, it's like a civil war. It's like who's got the biggest wiener? Like, trying to act like, look at me, look at me. You know what I mean? And everybody's a fan. Like, what really, really, really pissed me off the other day was when there's talking about area. Like Durham, I said to you on the way up to Newcastle, or when I was on my way back home on Wednesday when I called you up, and there were like people saying, "Oh, like, you're not, you know, Durham's Sunderland territory. You're not, like, you shouldn't be supporting Newcastle." It's like, you can support fucking Wrexham if you want.
Honestly, this is what I don't get. Don't you want your club to be massive? Don't you want them to bring in all this money? You need a huge fan base to bring this money in. The more people that are out there buying the shirts, trying to get tickets, watching all the games and putting money into the club, it doesn't matter where the fuck they're from or how long they've been doing it. Welcome them in. Make them feel welcome.
Look at anybody who's watching this, and anybody who's a Newcastle fan will be watching the documentary, right?
Yeah.
And one of the mad thing, right, that is in every episode is where Darren Eales is talking about growing the club commercially, international fans. Now that growing the fan base, everybody's like, oh, but we don't want to lose our identity and this, that, and the other, and whatever. But like, I'm sorry to say this, and it'll probably upset some people that we know, but it's almost like these people have got flat cap whippets and all the stereotypical stuff there, and they don't want to see past their own nose. This is our club. This is how it's always been. We don't want to do this. We don't want to do that. We don't want to do the other. Like, fucking, all right. But guess what? You'll be where you are because we can't do anything with financial fair play. And sadly, we're not frigging Chelsea anymore.
Thick as a Gurkha's foreskin. Love it.
You know what I mean?
That's what I mean. What was it? There was a comment I saw on Twitter the other day that was from off the back of one of the episodes on the Amazon documentary, and they were talking about Newcastle, this being our city, and that, and then it showed a shop window that happened to be in Gateshead, and someone on Twitter was like, "Oh, fucking who films this shit? Like, why show Gateshead when you're talking about Newcastle? Plus, I bet half these plastic fucking fans don't even know the name of that street. I don't know the name of that street. Didn't fucking stop me from traveling around Europe watching the mags 20 years ago. What does geography have to do with, and local knowledge have to do with being a fan of a football club?
Right.
Why are you suddenly better than me because you live in the area?
Which brings us right onto a brilliant segue here to this tweet from one of our good pals, Lee, who hopefully, well, might be watching, who actually travels fucking 3 hours to the match, 3 hours back home from Scarborough every fucking match day with his lad. And I couldn't think of any more of a Newcastle United fan through all the years from way back when than him, but he doesn't live in Newcastle anymore. Is he a plastic fan?
Exactly.
I'm asking you a question. Is he a plastic fan?
But he's probably one of the most staunch fans that I know.
Exactly. So we need to get rid of this fucking narrative that you can only support Newcastle if you can see the time, because it's bullshit. And the club's never gonna grow to where they want it to grow. If
there's just the 52 you can get in the stadium, that's it. They're the only fans that count.
Do you know what? Right, on that episode 3 that I watched today, right, there's a fair comment by War Flags, right, and the comment says, "I just don't want to lose that atmosphere, right? I just don't want to lose that bit of specialness." And I get that, right? Because what you don't want is you don't want some corporate company selling a match day experience for, say, £1,000, which gets you a hotel and whatever, and then they're taking photographs, right? Because then you lose it a little bit. And I think I understand what they're saying there, but at the same time, you need to grow. And the whole point in putting this tweet up here from late today is he put the media, Newcastle fans' expectations unrealistic. Newcastle fans, we're reducing our wage bill, popping the corks and all that in terms of what it is.
Because Ryan Fraser's going to Southampton.
Well, exactly, but that like ultimately, I know people laugh at it and say I like your bit. You commented that the Crystal Palace lad. About sports washing and stuff like that. And I liked his video that I watched about saying, well, what we're supposed to do? What are we supposed to do? Like, I'm not being funny. We've all supported Newcastle since we've pretty much been born. Like, you know what I mean? It was already set in stone at the end of the day. Like, that's just the way it is. Like, it doesn't matter who owns a club. We're always going to support them no matter what. It's a bit of a funny subject to talk about, and it's quite difficult, but it's for us to get tarnished with celebrating every little thing. I think it's harsh. Yeah,
definitely. I mean, they're two separate things. The executions that happen in Saudi Arabia have absolutely nothing to do with Alexander Isak skinning half of Everton's team. You know what I mean? They're two completely separate entities. We can celebrate one and abhor the other. But I always said that this move could open a two-way dialogue anyway.
Yeah.
Like they could start to look at the West and think, actually, yeah, you know what? Let's maybe stop all this lopping hands off shit.
Well, I'm not being funny though, and I don't want to get too political because it's not my piece, but owners from other clubs and things like that, like from different countries, they're not whiter than white. It's just sadly that
No.
the human rights aspect of that is really apparent, and it's not shying away that they've got certain beliefs, and sadly it's quite like fucking on the bone. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But America still execute people. Do you know what I mean?
Exactly.
So, you know, just
Todd
because
Bowley wears all the picketing outside of Chelsea.
exactly. So at the end of the day, it is what it is on that aspect.
We've got to take it on the chin at the end of the day. Like people are going to throw shade at us for it. I totally understand it, and we have to just get a thick skin to it and not rise to it every time it comes up.
It happened with Man City, when they got bought. It happened with them, and I liked when we first got, bought out.
I guess it's about Lee. Is he fan? Travel 5 hours from London. See?
No, but that's what I'm saying, though.
To do with it. We're indoctrinated.
Exactly. So I think it's this entitlement, and I think it's wrong. That entitlement has to stop from
it's gatekeeping, isn't it?
It is. And we had all this fiasco, people moaning about the away tickets and stuff like that. And guess what? The tickets to Brighton, which is quite far away, and like not just Manchester, on a difficult Saturday, I think Saturday afternoon when there's no trains to get back, they opened up they did the proper ticket and the balloting and the way that it was done. And guess what? Some people who probably wouldn't have got a ticket last season because of the way the tickets were distributed by people potentially with all those loyalty points, not actually going to the game, but buying a ticket for someone else.
Yeah.
Someone I know posted a tweet on there. They've now managed to get another loyalty point onto their current total because it went down to 10 points.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So it whether
it's
they're
working.
like it or not, it's working. It's just when it's not in your favor, a bit like this government, when it's not for you, they don't like it.
It's like, it's just weird. Like you see them all bleating on there as if it's like a personal attack on them, but then you get others saying, "I've been going to every away game on my friend's ticket for years." Well, get your own fucking ticket then. Like I know you're using his loyalty points and that, and that's fair enough. But if you were that big a fan, you'd be using your own ticket to get your own loyalty points. Like that's what it's trying to do. It's trying to stop people from riding other people's coattails.
Exactly.
It's a fairer system for everyone. It's just the people that are losing out are the ones that are shouting.
And what it does do, it gives the younger generation, hopefully, of the ones where the idiots that are complaining about the loyalty points that they've got there, gives them an opportunity to get to the games and start building loyalty points, because they'll be the next wave of fans.
Yeah.
Which I seen in the comment before that one where Richie's saying it is. I'll just pull it up there. Oh, sorry. It's introduced by birth. These young kids and bands and all the rest of it that go to the match with the mothers, fathers, granddads, grandmas, or whatever, they're the next ones. And we shouldn't be victimizing them just because fucking Barry from Benwell has got like 200 bloody loyalty points, but he gives 5 tickets to his mates because he just wants to keep the points when he wants to go to Man United, Liverpool, and all the top games. Do you know what I mean?
Exactly. Richie's season ticket holder, home and away, no issue with a new system, which Fairer needed doing. Exactly. So what's our view on the Saudi games at St James's Park? I'm all for it. Revenue means more for FFP. Plus, who are we to tell another culture what's right or wrong? Their laws, their culture. 100% agree with Richie. I don't have any problem with them using St James's Park. It's money.
I've got a problem where he mentions about it stuff at FFP, like not when they're charging a £5 a ticket.
Well, yeah, it's not going to get us fucking Neymar, is it? But
I think as well, the East Stand's the only stand that's open as well from the tickets that I've seen have gone on sale. So I think there might be an East Stand first, and then if more come out, they'll probably sell maybe any other stands as well. It's a canny lad, isn't it? But I wanted to bring this one up. when I was ranting on. So it really, really made me piss my pants that last Saturday you text me to say the last 2 episodes of We Are Newcastle United are on Amazon. I was like this. Get in, I'm busy at the moment, but when I get in, I'll put them on. Went on. They've been
gone.
But just when you don't want to know what was going on, everybody on bloody everywhere was like, oh yeah, and then this happened, and this. I was like, no.
Yeah.
In our what we're trying to do, we cannot go on it because we need to know what's going on.
I need to be on that NUFC hashtag like 24 hours a day looking for stories.
Yeah.
So no spoilers.
So 2 things. They released, someone's obviously really pressed the wrong button and released them like almost a week for one and 2 weeks for the other early, which meant people have just binge watched it, and there's quite a lot of people that's seen it. And then the second one, episode 3, which should have landed last night at midnight, they forgot to put it on. So in the space of a week, they have released something early, far too early, and then on the actual day it was supposed to come out, they've actually got it late.
It's ridiculous. But I'm pleased I managed to watch them early because, like, the first 2 I watched at midnight, and I'd have been looking for part 3 last night, and because of my fucking stupid ADHD brain, I'd have been waiting for it to come, so I'd have stayed up all night until 8 o'clock.
It's got to be 12 o'clock somewhere. Maybe it's that region, or maybe it's that region.
Yeah, I wouldn't have been able to sleep until I'd watched it, so I'm fucking glad I'd already seen it.
Yeah, but to be fair, 2-0 Chelsea. To be fair, what it has done is it has actually brought on to this next one, which I'm absolutely over the moon with, and it's the news that we've re-signed a deal with Adidas. And I mean, for me, Adidas, they've been the best strips that we've had in my lifetime.
Yeah, definitely.
We had the best moments in Adidas as well. Do you know what I mean? We had the entertainers, we had Bobby Robson. So hopefully, might just be that that style of, hopefully the strip will bring us a trophy. So obviously you've seen it, Ash. I'm not going to pick your brain on it because I want to watch it next week. But obviously, I've seen some of the commentary about it, about the deal that we're going to do, or has been done now, based on a 5-year deal with hundreds of millions of pounds, which we're talking about FFP there. That's a huge,
massive
thing, which means that if we look at this season and we talk about Champions League and what in episode 3, I think they start talking about how much is that worth to the bottom line, and they're saying about 45 million in terms of extra revenue. We've spent this season about
170, I think.
Well, we've got 150 probably. I don't know if Chris Wood's money came in this now and then Max's money and other bits. So I reckon it's around about maybe 150 mil. But if we've got this deal for reported of 250 to 300 million over a 5-year period, then that's maybe double in terms of on amortization, how FFP works. That's 300 million next summer to spend.
Richie's piss and glitter again.
So,
I said something in one of the articles I wrote this week when I said we might get another player in this summer, because obviously before we didn't know we had this massive Adidas money that could keep that quiet and say, oh, we're at the limit of FFP. But now obviously we know we've got 500 million coming in over the next 5 years. So you never know. Another defender.
You know what FFP's, before we go on to the Artist of the Week, you know FFP is a running 3-year total of a loss of
105 million.
So, but then that is, again, without talking mathematical bollocks, that changes on depreciation or amortization or of players' wages and things like that. So the news today that we have got rid of Ryan Fraser has a positive impact on FFP, because then his wage isn't there anymore, which frees up actually his total value for the
contract.
Summer. Likewise, if they're talking about Jamal Lascelles potentially leaving, There's Isaac Hayden this afternoon, talk of going to Luton on loan. So really, there'd only be one bum left at the club, and that's Hendrick. Really, that would who isn't part of the first team. And then I think they've done really well, which mad to think that we're at 18 months, nearly 2 years into the takeover, and we've still got people like that. Just shows how bad the previous owner was.
Yeah, I saw it. Yeah, Hayden's still got 3 years left on his contract.
Yeah, I remember when he signed a 5-year contract.
Bonkers. Nuts.
72. So let's just conscious of time. Let's jump into this one. So this week is
It's fucking mint.
This one's fucking mint, apparently. So this one is another local artist. Probably, I don't want to do many injustice by mentioning who his sibling is, but obviously he's got quite a well-known name, and it's of course Liam Fender. I'm really looking forward to going and seeing him in a little intimate gig in North Shields in September, in a couple of weeks. So can't wait. Me and the missus are going up, so I'm looking forward to that. Staying up in the northeast, seeing some friends, and then going to this. But we'll put it on. I'll shut up. We'll play his little track.
What if life is but a game? Tricks and treats in the brain.
Totally different. Totally different voice to his brother.
Couldn't believe it. Like I didn't even know about Liam Fender until he said last week we'll do that next. And I listened to him. I was like, I was not expecting that voice coming out of that face. Like, well,
I mean, I love all things music, me mate. So as you know, but like I think he's got a talent, like, and he's just done a little one, and I think we'll share that one as well. But it's Love Will Tear Us Apart by Joy Division. He's done that in a church in North Shields.
All right.
And it sounds like unreal. I think I was just talking to my uncle today who knows a good friend of his, and he was saying, I don't know how true this is, but he's actually give up his full-time job today to concentrate solely on music. Fair play to him if he has, and I just hope he goes his own direction, and because he's got a like I say, a famous brother, that he does his own thing, because they are. Richie's just said there that the chalk and cheese, but they're both good in their own right. Yeah. But yeah, and as you said, mate, last week, the whole point in what we're doing here, we're probably going to run out of. We're going to probably run out a little bit of fucking northeast artist up and coming ones. We'll probably may revisit some old maybe artists. I know Lee had said in one of the episodes that he wouldn't mind listening to Lindisfarne, and I know there's a couple of absolute classics that they've had. Alan Hull, there's so many. Geordie,
Jimmy Neal. There's
so many like famous Geordies that actually you wouldn't think. Oh, I didn't realize he was a Geordie. Do you know what I mean? So we'll dig into the depths of Geordie music of some sort. I don't think we can play AC/DC like on this show with him, because I reckon in the first 5 seconds the copyrights will go. Yeah, that's AC/DC.
The bam hammer gets swung.
So yeah. So other than that, mate, it is. Oh fucking hell! Chelsea scored again. I had 2-0 on the predictor. Yeah, but I think that's it, mate. I've got nothing else to add. I think that's it for this week's episode. I hope everybody enjoyed it. We'll be back next week. If you like what you see, click the subscribe button. Make some comments on it on our Facebook and Twitter and YouTube. And on that note,
It's fucking mint.
Thanks, Ollie. Thanks a lot. Cheers.
Thank you for watching AEG Fridays. We will be back. In the meantime, please check out matic723.co.uk for all your football print needs. Check out using coupon code WAYN10 for 10% off your order.